Welcome back to AFTV, guys. We've got another live show. It's a Monday, and the season, it's creeping up to us, Robbie. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Good. Looking forward to tomorrow because tomorrow, of course, we're all uprooting and going over to America, to Florida for the tour. Watched the game the other night in Baltimore, and it looked brilliant. Funny enough, Troops literally just rung me just before the stream started, and I saw him getting mobbed out there. You know what I mean? But it looked brilliant over there. It looked brilliant. 40,000 fans, 35,000 of them were Arsenal fans. Amazing support as usual. I thought the team played really, really well, and especially in the second half, not as good. Yeah, because of some of the players that came on, you know, the ones that probably won't be there and that. But Jesus again.
Jesus, listen, he started on fire, and we kind of hoped he would because of the fact that we've seen him do it in the Premier League for Man City, the fact that he cost quite a bit of money, and the fact that he's worked with Arteta before. So it shouldn't be too stranger surroundings for him, even though he has moved club, but he's hit the ground running. Hopefully we had a few more. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But are you surprised by how quickly he's got going? I know it's pre-season and you look at the opposition and all that, but he looks comfortable and he looks like he's combining nicely with his teammates.
Yeah, goal and assist, great finish, great touch, great finish. I kind of knew, you know, and obviously, like you said, it's still early, but I kind of knew that he would hit the ground running because, like you just said, and you know, I was getting mocked a bit for it by saying this on Saturday because I said it a few times about Premier League ready players. Yeah, where you know you've got a player that they know the terrain, they know the players, they know everything. You know what I mean, so it shouldn't be difficult for him to hit the ground running. I think people underestimate sometimes. Let's just use, for example, Fabio Vieira, even though we haven't seen him play yet. New country, new language. Yeah. And when he starts going on the circuit, Emirates will be doing for the first time. Yeah. So he's got to get used to that. Then, you know, go away to Crystal Palace. He's never been to Crystal Palace in his life. He doesn't know what to expect. What sort of ground is it? What's the pitch like? What are their players like? I've seen a bit of them on TV, but what are they like? Yeah. Who's you know, who do I do this bit of skill to? For who? There's a lot of nuances that we don't really factor in. That when you're a new player coming in, you know what I mean? You got Leicester the week after. What are they like? What are their players like? You know. Then what's the next away game after that? I
think we're back at Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Yeah. You know, Bournemouth. I never heard of Bournemouth before. You might be saying, you know, where is it? Gets there, sees this tiny little ground. He's like, wow, this is a lot different to the Emirates, different to the Palace. I mean, there's so many different things that you got to learn. But when, in the case of Jesus now, I've been to Palace a million times. I know what it's like. I know what the fans are going to be right on top of you. I know that them as a team, they're going to press you hard. I've got a plan for how I'm going to deal with this tonight. You know, I know what Leicester are going to bring, right? I know what, you know, I've been to Bournemouth before. You know what I mean? You can a player can even have memories of going there and scoring or going there and, you know. So I think when you've got players that are Premier League ready, you know, Zinchenko will be the same thing when he comes in. He knows, you know, and then you add on top of that, they know Arteta.
Yeah, it's true.
They've worked with Arteta for years, so they know him as well. So it really does help the situation, I do feel, of getting these players to be able to settle in. And I like the fact that we've brought in these players. I know sometimes it's not as sexy as bringing in someone from abroad who's never been, and we're going to talk about
for
Paqueta.
Twice the fee and all that.
And that's, you know, it's really, but they've got to have time to settle. We've seen even with Darwin Núñez at Liverpool, you know, I've seen a couple of people giving him stick at some of the goals he's missed, but
they don't give him time, do they?
He's got to settle, isn't he? It's the first time, absolutely. You know, he's meeting his teammates and all that for the first time, and you know the pressure's on him. That chance probably falls to him last year in Portugal. He buries it. Yeah. Now he's, you know, the amount of Liverpool fans that are there. He wants to impress them. The stress. Yeah. So,
social media pressure. Yeah.
I'm happy with Jesus. I think Zinchenko will be the same thing, that when he comes in, he'll fall into place pretty quickly as well, because you know they just know the terrain. So,
I completely agree. You mentioned Zinchenko, and I agree. I think a big part of, listen, we shouldn't just sign players that Arteta knows, because people forget that even Pablo Mari, I think he knew for a little. Well, he was part of the Man City setup at one point. There's a lot of coaches that have come. The Nicolas Jova was at Man City. He's now our set piece coach. I think there are a few other younger coaches who had time under Guardiola. So we shouldn't just take everything that Arteta knows, but it definitely helps when you're trying to get everyone up and running very quickly and ready for that first game against Palace. So I'm with you there. But one player that I don't think Arteta wouldn't have come across in a sort of coaching sense is Lucas Paqueta, and that is the story of the day. This is a player I know you're really excited about.
Yeah, good player, top quality player. Brazilian international, regular in the Brazil team, a really talented player who plays in the midfield, attacking midfield, and can score goals. And I feel with Arsenal at the moment, I still worry a bit about goals, right? Because yes, Jesus is banging them in, but basically we're going to be relying on Jesus this season to get the bulk of our goals with Eddie Nketiah. We're hoping that Saka will come with his goal count again, and Smith Rowe. Let's not forget Smith Rowe. But I think we need someone else in there as well that can maybe give us 10 goals. I in an ideal world, I'd love another striker. I really would, a plan B, but we may not be able to get that. It's difficult. There's not many strikers out there, mate. I've seen. You see the money that someone like a Broja, who scored 6 goals last season, they're talking about £30 million for him. I know he's young, but so it just shows you there's not a lot of them on the market. And I just think to say, maybe you've got a Paqueta in there who can play right, who can play left, he can play centrally, and brings goals to the table, and a bit of excitement. I think could be a really shrewd bit of business and a really good signing for Arsenal. Yeah,
he's a really interesting one for me, Paqueta, because when we got Vieira, I thought to myself, okay, well, he can cover on the wings, but he's mainly like another Odegaard-ish type player. I think he's got a bit more end product about him. And I look at Paqueta in the same way, and I try to look at the numbers and the research, and his defensive numbers are really impressive. So maybe he's got a little bit more as a box-to-box or someone who can be a bit deeper than Odegaard to offer than maybe we think. But it did surprise me, because I'd be looking at more Tielemans, Milinkovic, Savic. I mean, if I had to order those three, I think Paqueta would be the last in that three for me, just in terms of what I think we need and how we
should be getting both. Is my opinion.
Paqueta and one of them.
Both. I think it should be a Tielemans.
With Zinchenko, so there'd be 3 potential central midfielders all in.
I think Zinchenko is, he's primarily going to play left back, right? And
really? Do you think he's signing? Do you think he's leaving Man City to come play left back for Arsenal?
I think he's leaving there, and it's going to be like, you'll play both. That's what I think. Because the problem we've got right now, I think if it was just midfield only, we wouldn't be signing Zinchenko, would we? Even though he can play in midfield and he's done well there for the Ukraine, and that,
I get what you're saying.
I think if he said, right, I'm only going to play midfield, nowhere else, I don't think we sign him.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think we're going to get a left back. So I think Zinchenko, it will be like, primarily you're going to be a left back, but we can also play in midfield. And think about the amount of games we've got. We've got all the Europa League games, right, as well as the league games, so there can be switches between those. Think about the fact that, coming back after the World Cup, Zinchenko won't be at the World Cup.
Yeah.
A lot of the other midfielders will be, like Thomas Partey, like Saka, Smith Rowe, Xhaka, all these guys will be there.
Yeah.
So it could be like, right, when it comes to December, January, you're going to be our main guy, and it could be, but I seriously feel that the fact that he can play that left back role is a key factor, the key factor in signing him. And I still think we need a deeper midfielder, which for me that would be Tielemans, and then get another, because we were going to do that anyway by the looks of it, innit? We looked like we were looking at
Martinez,
yeah. Right. We were also looking at Rafinha. So,
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I think the Paqueta thing, Arsenal will be looking at it more in the sort of that role, like that Rafinha type role, even though that's not exactly where he plays. I just get the feeling, because look at his goal scoring record.
I mean, okay, yes, I guess if he's coming in as a forward, then I guess that makes a little bit more sense. If he was the backup to Rafinha, maybe. I never thought of him in that way.
He can play that role.
Yeah, no, he absolutely can. I just think I always saw him as more of a central midfielder. If he was going to get converted away from that, it would be as more of a deeper player rather than a forward. But I guess that could work. Let us know in the comment section, guys. If Paqueta were to come, where would he play? Why do you think Arteta wants him when you've got Odegaard and Vieira, who stylistically are already not exactly the same, but quite similar in some ways?
Need more goals, though.
You do, but I mean, yeah.
Need more goals, man. And, as I said,
I agree with that. We do.
Jesus, Eddie Nketiah are the two strikers, I'm a little bit worried that we might be leaving ourselves a little bit light. What if one of them gets injured or something?
Yeah, I think is that someone like Martinelli can also play up front. Then you've got Smith Rowe. Then Vieira can play wide. I think across the front three, while I do think we need one more, I think we're fairly well covered. Balogun. We never talk about Balogun or what's going to happen with him this season. I kind of hope he gets a really good loan. But we've not really heard much. Let's get into the super chats. I want to ask you about this price tag in a second as well. But Dave says, please no Tielemans. Do we really need unathletic midfielder who gives away penalties for fun? Already got that. Oh god. Paqueta athletic and makes runs beyond the striker, which we lack. So the second bit sounds great. I think that's really harsh on Tielemans personally.
Yeah, Tielemans is a quality player.
He's not unathletic either.
He's not unathletic. He's a quality player. He's, again, that word, Premier League ready. He knows the Premier League. I think he'd do well at Arsenal. I would be more than happy to see Yuri Tielemans come in,
Yeah.
And he scores goals from outside the box. Remember that banger in the FA Cup final?
Yeah.
We don't score enough of them type of goals. You know what I mean?
And that was a tight game where no one was really doing much, and he just won.
That was the match winner. You know what I mean? That was the match winner.
Yeah, good point.
Against Chelsea. You know what I mean? He's a proper player. He's a regular for Belgium. I would not listen if it comes down to Paqueta and Tielemans, and it could only have one. I'd have to side probably with Tielemans. Because he's a top player, so I disagree with that. I know last season there was a few moments like when he gave away that ball against Spurs and stuff like that. I know those things. You look at them and it kind of puts you off the player a bit, but think of all the good things he's done. He's a proper player. When we've played them, he's a problem. No, I think that'll be a great signing.
I like him a lot.
Still young.
Yeah, 24, 25. I think with the right players around him as well, you'll see the best of his passing, his kind of how he can control a game. Tritania says, I feel we are still unprepared for Palace game. Do you guys really feel we'll see Tierney and Tomiyasu start against Palace? I feel they're not 100% yet.
Well, they're not, are they? Because the manager, after the game, said that they've both got slight niggles. It does worry me a bit. But there's still games to go, you know what I mean? I remember that was the first game in the US. We've got the game against Orlando on Wednesday, and we've got another game against Chelsea. I get the feeling.
The Emirates Cup.
And in the Emirates Cup, and they'll probably play a few behind closed doors games before that as well. I do feel that we'll see Tierney, or they've got to ease Tierney back in a way. So I think we'll see a bit of Tierney, maybe against Orlando if I do want to see Fabio Vieira. That one worries me. I mean, when I saw him wearing that boot, and they said it's nothing, but we still ain't seen him yet. So I'm still hopeful. I want to see him.
Footage either. So
I don't know. I mean, it's nothing, but you got on one of them protective boots. You don't wear those for nothing, do you?
Well, look, he's clearly injured.
I don't think. Obviously, a fan took a picture of him, and the protective boot was in it. I don't think we would have seen that otherwise. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, listen, I think we're preparing well. I hear what he's saying. The Tomiyasu thing as well. Again, I hear he's got a point on that.
Well, I need Tierney and Tomiyasu to get some real pre-season under their belts. So they don't play the Orlando game, that's one thing, but I need them to have some involvement in the Chelsea game and play the Emirates Cup for me to feel like they're going to be fighting fit and ready come the start of the new season with Palace away. I think what's different is that we're going in with a few more options this time. So, I know we haven't really signed any fullbacks yet. Okay, Zinchenko might be through the door and can cover at left back. Actually, that's worth remembering. But you've also got Saliba and the way he performed the other day, meaning that someone like Ben White might be seen as a right back for certain games, and it doesn't really disrupt the team
there,
so much.
Cedric, he filled in, you know, maybe he might start that first game if he's up to speed.
I thought he looked quite good the other day. So
could be Hector Bellerin if he's not sold by then.
The performance wasn't great.
He was awful. I thought in that game he was awful.
It wasn't a great performance.
But I sort of said, we were discussing it today on the Bias Premier League show, and I said it must be difficult for a player like Bellerin and some of those other guys that know you're leaving.
Yeah.
And then you're like, do I self-preservation here and don't get myself injured, or do I go full pelt?
Yeah.
It must be difficult, but he was not very impressive at all in that game.
He wasn't. Sarah says, please have Julian on AFTV lives more often. All your guests are great, but Julian always brings a fresh, positive, alternative view on issues.
He always brings alternatives.
I will let Julian know that. He'll love to hear
He's
that.
actually over in Florida at the moment. He's gone to the kit launch today.
Oh, nice.
So, and we'll see him tomorrow.
Is he going to do a little vlog or no?
Huh?
He's probably just there to have a great
time.
I
think he's gonna try and do a little vlog and that. So let's look out for that.
Oh no, I look forward to seeing it out there as well. Quite a few people out there. It'll be great. Latency says, Robbie, any more news on our talks to sign names?
Yeah, incoming. Here we go.
Denham says, if we finish 8th but won the Europa League, would you be happy, or do you see league position top 4 as the real indicator of true success?
I want to see. Listen, I take that because we'd be in the Champions League, but I want to see Arsenal perform in the league this season.
Awful if the minute we set foot back in Europe, we drop back to 8th. That'd be horrendous.
Yeah, I really feel that it's time now for Arsenal to get back into that Champions League and through the league and start making a better showing in the league. You know, so. Yeah.
I think for me, the word progress and success are used a bit too interchangeably, and they shouldn't be. Top 4 in league position is the real indicator of progress, as well as points, wins, losing less games, beating teams in the Big Six. All those kind of things are all indicators of progress. Success. Listen, we finished 8th a couple of years ago, and we won the FA Cup. Man United finished 2nd and didn't win a trophy. I would argue we had a more successful season.
No, we did.
I agree. So success and progress are a little bit too interchangeable in that sense. It's always success to win silverware, especially in Europe. But if you're asking for an indicator of progress, we need to see this team start climbing into the top 4, closing the gap on the top 2. Listen, you don't have to be up with them. We know that they're 2 of the best teams to ever play in the Premier League. But you need to be closing that gap. You need to be beating them every now and again. You know, that is the one thing, though, them lot down the road who, you know, I don't exactly enjoy praising, but they got 2 draws out of Liverpool and then they beat City twice.
I think the turning point
they got 4th.
I think the turning point for them was that draw that they got at Liverpool. But we only just finished just behind them.
Exactly, but we took 0 points.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and that's
they took 8 out of 12, we took 0. So just imagine.
And that's where we've been failing over the seasons. We don't take any points off of those teams, and we've got to change that. We've got to, you know, we nearly a couple of times this season. Last season, you know, I look at the game when we played City at home, and for the first time I was like, hey, we're actually giving Man City a proper game, and we should really have not lost that game. It was, it was criminal that we lost that game. But we didn't. We didn't win the game, and that's what we got to change this season. I feel that we have to go away as well at one of them grounds and do something, take some points, like win a game.
Yeah, I agree.
Go away to City and win a game, or go away to, you know, Liverpool, get a win, or you know what I mean. So
look competitive, look a serious.
Look a serious.
We often look too scared, too.
That's the thing we got to turn around.
Yeah, I completely agree. Let's go through some more comment super chats. We will take back to Paqueta stuff. KD says, Robbie, now that the price is down for Paqueta, do you think we will get both Tielemans and Paqueta? Also, who's your choice for who's your ideal right winger? Okay, well this pulls me back to what I was going to ask anyway. I mean, 34 million. That's the price they're saying.
If it's 34 million.
That's the price some reports in France are saying. Sorry,
Mediafoot in France.
I should clear that up.
Mediafoot in France are they're saying that, you know, Lyon will be willing to let him go for 34 million out of respect for the player. That doesn't sound very Lyon to me.
It doesn't sound very
Lyon is a team that gets maximum for his players.
Yeah, and just before he's about to do the deal, he'll put out a statement saying that it's not true and that the player's not going anywhere. That's when you know you've got him. That's when you know, okay, the deal's happening.
Look at how much money they charged recently, even for Ndombele. You know what I mean? So, I don't think. Listen, the 60-odd million price tag what they've been coming off, absolutely ridiculous. They get nowhere near that. No chance. But 34 million, I think that'd be a reasonable price. Yeah.
Kira says you could also talk about players that should be sold. Listen, this is my thing on the whole, because I've actually thought that. I've thought to myself, we're not really talking about sort of the outgoings Arsenal need to do, but the last 2-3 windows, actually since Arteta arrived, there's all been about getting rid of, I don't like the term, but dead wood, getting rid of all the players you don't need and, making room in the squad. We've done so much of that. I almost don't really care. Like, if these players are still here, I'm not really, it sounds awful, I'm not really too bothered. Just get the players we need in. Yeah, that's my thing. We've done so much clearing.
Yeah, the priority's always been at Arsenal. It's getting rid of players first before we do anything. This is the first time we're doing it the other way around, and I love this.
Yeah, me too.
We can get, a lot of those players will go before the end of the window. Whether they'll be sold, whether they go back out on another loan, but they will go. The priority is getting in quality players early so that they can be, ready for that first game of the season and we can compete.
Yeah.
And, a lot of them players, we saw them in the second half. It's time for them to go, isn't it? It's just, whether...
But I'm not stressing about it.
Yeah, and a lot of them will go on to other clubs and do well. Hector Bellerin had a great on loan season at Real Betis, won a trophy. But you can see that his days at Arsenal are over. You know what I mean? He's not motivated again, and Arsenal have moved on from Hector Bellerin. So, the only one out of those players that I saw playing the other day that I was like, never know, maybe, was Pablo Mari. Thought he looked decent, and I looked on him, I thought, still don't have another left-sided centre-back.
I've always quite liked Mari. So
yeah.
I'm
but everybody else, I think Ainsley's really been unfortunate in his time, but it's time for him to get a new challenge now.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Paul, okay, this is an interesting super chat. Says, big up Robbie and AFTV. I remember back a month ago on Bar's Premier League, you said Jesus was one of the worst strikers in the Premier League.
Did I?
I have receipts.
Get the receipts that we see.
I've never ever heard that be thrown around the office.
Worst.
I'd love to know where Paul's got that from.
Worst.
So,
Do you know what the thing is? He was never really played as a striker, really, was he, at City? He was more played on this right-hand side. I think this could be the making of him, really, him playing directly as a striker, as that number 9. Gabriel Jesus, go out and get us 20 goals for the season. That could be the making of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still to be seen. The season haven't even started yet, but I'm liking what I see so far.
Yeah, no, I am. Hadi says, big up the Don and Statman. Haven't been able to catch this show live in a while. In my opinion, Tielemans could be the next Kevin De Bruyne if given the chance. Also, who can we get as a target man apart from Tony and Calvert-Lewin? Love. Thank you for the super chat, Hadi. I'm just going to address the one thing, the Kevin De Bruyne thing. I think, firstly, I know what you mean. Sometimes names get thrown around. People say, you're saying they're as good as them. No, you're saying stylistically they might be similar. But what I would say is I don't think Tielemans and De Bruyne are similar stylistically. I think, that Tielemans can sort of open his body and whip the ball to the back post a bit like De Bruyne, but De Bruyne is elite at doing that. And also I think De Bruyne's got he's a bit more dynamic, a bit more powerful. He's a better dribbler.
You can't compare him to De Bruyne.
No, of course you can't.
I think a lot of this has come from, I don't know if you saw the interview that was done with Kyle Walker,
right?
Where they were asking Kyle Walker who's the most gifted and skillful player at the club, and I think he said Bernardo Silva and Zinchenko.
Yeah, and the third was...
And was it Sterling with the other one? I can't remember the other one.
Who was the third? Carry on though.
Yeah, and
who was it?
Like the guy was interviewing and said, "What? But more than De Bruyne?" And he said, "No." He goes, "Listen, if you see him in training, it's amazing the things that." And I think a lot of people have taken that and run with it. Listen, he is nowhere near Kevin De Bruyne, right? But he is. When I watched him playing for Ukraine in midfield, I've been impressed.
Oh, Zinchenko, you mean? Right.
Yeah, Zinchenko. In Zinchenko. So he's not a De Bruyne, but I think he'd be a great.
He's asking if Tielemans could be.
Oh,
But
Tielemans could be De Bruyne.
Yeah,
no,
but
he's not as good.
Don't think they're the
he's
same.
nowhere near that level.
But I don't think he's that style of player either.
They both play for Belgium. I think that's a similarity.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But he's a very, very talented young player who I feel has still got a lot more to give and can get better. And on what he says about who can we get as a target man, I think he make a great point. There's not many target men out there. That's the problem. You know what I mean? He's named Tony there. He's named Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who was anonymous. On Saturday, I think Saliba has marked him out of the game.
Yeah.
But that's it, really. It's not really many target men out there.
I agree. When I think about it, also, I don't think Arteta's really looking. Maybe Scamacca, but I don't think Arteta's even really looking for a plan B. I think he's looking just to try and make his plan A better.
I don't think he is. I think he's looking at it thinking, if I can get him a lot of goals out of more goals throughout the team.
I mean, you look at Man City when they won the title, I know we're talking about a real super team here. These guys are unbelievable, but 2-0 down to City, Guardiola's not turning to 6'3" strikers, is he? He's turning to Gundogan, who makes great runs to the back post. He's turning to other players like Zinchenko, who are skillful, might ask other questions. I think Arteta wants depth, but not in terms of different options, but more of the same that might on their day be at it where others aren't, and that kind of thing.
This guy Banu says, how about Balletti?
Yeah, would be on a free transfer, wouldn't he? But
3-2, was killing it at Torino at one time. But
let's have a little look at his numbers. I mean, on a free,
I'm not too sure. And whilst you're looking at those numbers, this one here from Joe FLA, he says, Flamengo fan here, so Brazilian, says Paqueta is the most underrated midfielders in Europe. Incredible stamina, always tracks back to recover the ball, and isn't afraid to get forward to snag goals. Also on the ball, he's absolutely saucy. There you go. He's got a good dance on him as well.
There you go. That's fair enough. For what
got a few good dance moves.
113 goals in 250 appearances for Torino. That's really not bad.
No. There was one. I think he had a quiet season last year, though. I know what he did last year, but at one time he was doing well. Got into the Italian national team.
Let's have a little look. I've got it here. So last season for Torino, you're right. 8 goals in 22 appearances. The year before 13. The year before that 16. So he's always. Yeah, apart from last season where he didn't get to double figures. I guess on a free transfer, you know what? That's the only way I can see it happening. Is if it's a free transfer. Am I surprised?
I think he'll end up staying in Italy.
He kind of started to emerge on the scene around the same time as Harry Kane, and they were kind of being compared quite often. But Kane built on it, and Belotti, I think, kind of remained at a decent level. Bamsey asks, this feels like the start of a real turn in our fortunes. What is the feeling like over at AFTV?
I feel the same. I feel a freshness, which I like.
Yeah, I feel a freshness. I agree with that.
I feel a freshness. I feel a little bit of excitement amongst the fans.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is to do with the fact that we're doing things a little bit differently to how we do them normally. Yeah. And the fans are responding, and I feel that, I like what I've seen so far. We came very close to the top 4 last year. If we can add that bit of extra quality, and not forgetting what we've got some good players, right?
Yeah, I know.
Where we really fell down towards the last of the season as well was the injuries.
Yeah,
or we'd have probably got the top 4.
Yeah.
So we need to add to that squad, get more quality in it. But I feel good, but I think we still need more. We need more. That squad.
Yeah.
I want to see a squad with a great bench as well, that when opposition teams see it, they're like fearful.
Yeah, I'm feeling quite good going into the season. We need to do more, undoubtedly. I mean, you guys are talking about 3, 4, 5 signings. I think realistically we'll get, with Zinchenko, I think we'll get 1, maybe 2 more. So I'm a little apprehensive on that front in terms of whether we really will get everything done. But I'm excited for Palace. I'm starting to feel like, especially when I saw the team go out and I saw Saliba playing, and I also looked at the players we didn't have available who have minor niggles, but they should be back. I was thinking, okay, there's some real options for Arteta to call on there if they're all fit. And
love to see, like you said, Tomiyasu, Tierney, those guys back in full flow. I'm not sure if Tierney will be back in full flow for the start of the season. Tomiyasu's a big one as well. We missed him badly last season. Yeah,
we did. Young Gunner says, I remember when we lost 3-0 away at Leicester a few years back, and Tielemans dominated the midfield with Maddison, and for 25 to 30 million he'd be a steal. Did he score a header against us that day?
I can't remember, but I agree, man. He's a quality player, man.
Yeah, he is a top player. And we do this so often with football. It really drives me crazy. We're so quick to write players off. And actually, I was debating with some Man United fans, and I told them, I was thinking, I reckon Dallo and Martial will have something to do in this. And they're rubbish, they're gone, they're finished, whatever. A couple pre-seasons in, they go, they're looking quite good under Ten Hag, because these players don't get to that level. And it's the same with Arsenal. No one gets this level without having something about them. Sometimes it'll be a certain team, a certain manager, who knows how to get the best out of you. So, yeah, Red Smoke just sent a super chat, but the message was retracted. So thank you anyway for the super chat, Red Smoke. Just catching up on the others. Dano Jr. says, do you remember me asking you in 2020, is Jesus better than Lacazette? And you said Lacazette is miles better and that Jesus played in a better team. I told you that you're mad. Now look at you now, listen to you. That's from Dano.
2020. I can't remember that. There's a lot of things that have happened since then. COVID has happened and all kind of things, Dano. But I will listen. I will bow down. I won't say you're being dishonest. If you at the time, Lacazette was doing all right actually.
Listen, I'm gonna hold on.
He was doing all right, Lacazette.
I wasn't here, but casting our mind back, 2018-19, just so the season before, Lacazette was our player of the season. Jesus was still very, very young. I think you got all the grounds to say that Lacazette was probably a better player at the time.
Yeah, thanks, James, man. Thanks for defending me. He said, Dan, I'll just chill.
I mean,
big up.
We might still have been wrong, but I can imagine that was an opinion back
now then. He's definitely better.
Exactly.
Oh, dear.
Greetings from Estonia. What are your thoughts on
What's
Pepe?
the name of that person?
I can't read Estonian. I apologise. What are your thoughts on Pepe? I haven't heard any transfer news on him. Do we still need him, or would it be better to get rid of him? I think you.
Yeah, there has been.
One person.
Valencia are very interested in signing him. Quite a few clubs.
Leicester were linked.
Leicester.
Yeah.
One of them teams could maybe a swap for Tielemans. If they're interested, swap him for Tielemans. I mean, you saw again the other night. He came on in the second half. Had a quiet game. He's not in the manager's plans for me. He's going to be moved on. And it's a bit of a shame. Cost a lot of money. He hasn't really produced it. I like him as a player, but he doesn't do it enough. But there are a lot of clubs interested in him. And so I do think he will move. It's how much will we get from him? I don't think we're going to get very much, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think he'll move later in the window. I think something will just happen, whether it's
I can see him going on
a loan with an option, that kind of thing.
Yep, I can see that.
I can't see Arsenal doing particularly good business when it comes to selling at this point. Jonathan says, don't need another striker. He's put his hand on his head. And then
is he saying that because you said Arteta thinks you don't need another striker? I personally would like to see another striker.
I think he's saying on the back of you thinking that we maybe need another striker. He's not convinced, and Dave has doubled down on that, saying, why do some at AFTV want a shiny new toy when Nketiah is one of the best young strikers in the world? Complaining about his new contract, he's worth 30 million now easily, says Dave.
I said, listen, I'm not sure about if he's one of the best young strikers in the world.
That's what he said. Well,
that's yet to be proven. I mean, he's still, he finished off the season last year very well. To say one of the best young strikers in the world is too early to say that. Let's see if we can say that at the end of this season. Definitely he's a prospect. Definitely I personally believe I was not against us selling him. Sorry, I was not against us keeping him. I do believe that the way he finished off the season, he deserves his chance and he's going to get his chance. And he'd be worth 30 million now. You might be spot on because if Broja, who scored 6 goals last season, is going to go for them sort of money, then I think you've got a point. But he's got a lot to prove, Eddie. This is still early. You know what I mean? I've liked how he's looked in pre-season. He's looked really, really sharp. But it's a big, big season for Eddie and Nketiah. They put a lot of faith in him. Yeah. I really hope. I love players that come through the academy. I really hope he can deliver.
But you know what, Robbie? I'm going to run in and defend you again here because, the thing is, Dave, what you're saying is no one okay, people have different opinions on Nketiah or whatever, but what you're saying is an alternative. Like, it's all well and good having Nketiah and Jesus, and and actually, my opinion on Nketiah has been changing for a long time. And what I will say is, I was also one that defended him through the bad patch. I'm going to say that. But my point is, while I don't agree with you that it's a priority, you're talking about an Ivan Toney, a player who's 6'3", 6'4", is a plan B, more of a target man, and offers something different. That's the point people are making. No one's saying go get, another Jesus because we need more players. It's about having a balance to your squad. It's not an opinion I'm all for, but I get it. Like, I get why.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is a plan B, a different option. We don't have that right now.
Reece says Mari looked crap against Nuremberg. I agree, but he looked better. He looked okay against Everton, and also, I think we were too quick to kind of discard him last season. He had a bad start. Do you remember when Gabriel wasn't fit? He had a bad start, and then we kind of saw him in one cup game after. But actually, the season before, do you remember there was a lot of debate about whether we start Gabriel or Mari? Do you remember there were actual debates? Who should we start and whatever? And the Villarreal game in the semi-final, he started Mari. So it just goes to show that how quickly things can change, eh? Banu says, how about Belotti, plan B, 3-2? I think you mentioned this one, sorry. You mentioned the Flamengo fan as well. Abdullah says, I don't think we'll go for a right winger. We should get Zinchenko, Paqueta and a striker. We can't start the season with only 2 strikers. Jesus can cover on the right wing if needed. So there you go. Abdullah's also then made another point in defence of you that actually you could add another striker and Nketiah still gets game time and Jesus plays on the wing. So something needs to be done for that front three, absolutely. Red Smoke says, hi guys, love the show. Are you concerned now if we get in Zinchenko, Arteta won't look at buying alternative midfielders?
I hope not. Yes, a lot of people have been suggesting that. I hope that is not the case because, I still think primarily left back is where...
I'm going to level with you here. Do you remember me and Graham did the tactical insight, who we need? And I kept thinking to myself about what Arsenal's realistic budget was and what we needed. And I'll be honest, he's not far off, Arteta, giving me everything I said I wanted. So I'm not on this whole, I want another couple player, whatever, because I said I wanted Zinchenko, because he could cover left back and midfield. I actually said James Maddison, but basically another creative midfielder. We've got Vieira. I wanted Jesus, he's in. And I said I wanted another wide player, and one of them I think I mentioned Dybala, Rafinha, whoever. So once he's given me the wide player, I can't complain, Robbie. He's kind of done most of what I thought was realistically I could expect of them.
To see like a player, a really exciting signing, and that's the Rafinha one for me. I was really excited about
Sane? Listen, I know Arsenal fans are very much manifesting these rumours.
Yeah, Sane would be brilliant, but I don't think that's going to happen. I looked into those rumours. They looked a bit weird. Yeah.
You know what Arsenal haven't done in a while, and I guess you could say Jesus is this a little bit, but we haven't gone and got a player that's at the absolute peak of their powers from a top club. Like when we got Alexis Sanchez, you knew that, okay, maybe not his peak, but you knew he was nearly there. He was probably going to become a world-class player. And we took him from Barcelona because they wanted Suarez. And we did the same with Ozil the year before. So who's that player that it's not quite working where they are, and they're going, you know what, big club Arsenal, we need to give it a go, and we get them that world-class player, the very best. I mean, is there anyone out there? I mean, I don't know. Maybe Serge Gnabry was a fit, but I don't know.
Well, I already feel he's kind of in that world-class bracket. I don't know who that player is right now, but I think Rafinha was sort of seeming like that player to me. Like he could be on another level. Yeah. But Barcelona, they found the money somehow and they got it done.
They somehow found the money. Twiggy says, are you having font on the new Arsenal away kit? If so, would you get the Arsenal font or Premier League font on them? Well, let's talk about kits while we're on it.
The font now, I was discussing it. I went and got the kit this morning. Yeah. And we did a review on it. Make sure you check out the review that I did on it. I actually got both kits. So I got the one that they call is the replica and the authentic. I got both of them. And when I was standing in the queue, there was a guy with me and he had one with the actual name on the back and the font. And I was saying, I really love that font. I really like. And he was the one who was saying to me, yeah, but when it's the Premier League, it's going to look different to that.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, and I was saying they should go with that one.
Yeah.
That one looks better.
Unfortunately, there's that uniform Premier League one. But at least in the Cups and the Europa League, we'll get our own.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a really nice kit. You did your review. Go check out Robbie's review, as you mentioned. But there was a nice kind of, and this was some of the news from today as well, worth discussing. There was a nice marketing campaign around it, Little Islingtons. And I think the whole message was, even away from home, we're home. I thought it was really nice. I thought it was you know, kind of bringing the fans from the States around the world together, and I thought there was a nice kind of, yes, it's the away kit, but I don't know. You're not as
£70. £70. Although they do donate £5 to the Arsenal Foundation, so I think that's a nice touch. But £70. The replica one is £100, and I've also got another bone to pick with Arsenal. Right, I don't want to be too negative on Arsenal, right? But I'm still upset. On Saturday, how is it that Arsenal fans had to pay £5.99 to watch that game, and Everton fans were able to watch it for free? And it was in better quality on the Everton channel as well.
Can I ask you something? If Everton were charging as well, would you have minded?
No.
Okay, fine.
No, if they're both charging, fair enough.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how are they able to do it for free and we charged?
Do you think as fans we should pay for pre-season games? It's tough.
I don't mind paying the $5.99 for a pre-season game. Right, because back in, I remember a time when you didn't get to watch pre-season games.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right, so I don't mind it, but why are they got it? Theirs is free, and ours is $5.99. That's wrong.
That's
wrong. That needs explaining. Needs explaining. Right, unless that $5.99
for an explanation.
If the $5.99's been put towards buying Tielemans or Paqueta or something, then maybe I'm cool with it.
Tell Lee to ask her to. Well, I don't know he's involved in that. Owen says, Robbie, sorry, actually, I'll read the super chat, but I want to ask you more about this kit. Robbie, I'm very curious with Arsenal during the summer. I don't get too high or low. If Arsenal can execute Zinchenko, Tielemans and Sane, now that would make me feel confident about this season. Yeah, we talked about those players, and I tell you what, if they got all three, then I tell you what, that'd be pretty outstanding. But they did the nice marketing campaign, it looked good, and I think they've launched in the States while they're out there. And I tell you what, the players look good in the kit. I mean, it's nice seeing Saliba wearing the kit and being with all the players. Like, it feels like he's part of it, which is nice.
Big up Adidas, man. They make some nice kits. Last year's kits, brilliant. Season before, loved them. We make great kits, but what about the teams? Yeah. And that's what I want to see. I mean, I want to see a top quality team in those kits. If we win the league in a bin bag, I'll be happy.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Right?
It is true.
That's the main thing, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Bin bag with 3 stripes down it, I'll take that if we win the league, right? But big up Adidas, they made it. I like this new third kit in particular. I love black kits, so I'm glad they've gone with that one.
It's been a long time since we had black. I know we had black with the pink with Puma. Do you remember that one, Lacazette's first season?
Yes,
but we've actually, otherwise you don't really get a lot of black. Nike once gave us black, but with the blue. Do you remember?
Yeah.
The summer we
lost
Lacazette.
Do you know which kit I'm just a bit baffled that we've never brought back? And that was a Nike one, the Nike Burgundy, the
2000 the last year of Highbury.
I'm surprised that we've not done that one again. I know it was sort of a centenary kit or something like that, but it was.
What was it? The last year of Highbury? Was that
last year of Highbury? Yeah. But still, bring that colour back, man. We used to play in those colours in the 30s.
As a third kit or a home kit?
Third kit. Work as a third kit, or even as an away kit, it could work.
Yeah, listen, I'd love to see it. I just feel like when they do it, they will save it for a really special time. I do. I think I don't know what it will be.
After we win the Premier League.
I tell you what, if winning the Premier League coincides with 20 years at the Emirates, then maybe they'll do it. Ashwin says, Robbie and James, namaste from India. Arsenal have all 3 gods: Jesus, Muhammad and Ram. Brackets Ramsdale. Hindu god.
I like the way he's worked that in.
Yeah, good work. Is this the sign that God is with us?
Well, as I said to Expressions the other day, I go, when we play Tottenham in the North London derby, right, I said it's the blessed versus the pagans. And we are the blessed, right? You can see from those names there. So the blessed versus the pagans in that final, in that North London derby.
Dane says Vincent Kompany scored against Leicester to help City win the league. Tielemans scored against Chelsea to win the FA Cup. Who would you rather sign the following season? There are levels to this thing. What? Whether we?
Or what was that?
I mean,
Vincent Kompany was a great player.
Kompany retired
But
as well.
Tielemans.
Oh, he went to play for Anderlecht, didn't he?
Yeah, Tielemans a great player.
If that's your way of trying to put down Yuri Tielemans, it's a strange one. But Manuel says, please mention Edson Alvarez. He is a bargain player compared to the centre mids. Edson Alvarez, is he the guy who plays for Ajax? But I think he's quite... I want to say he's quite not similar to Lissandro Martinez, but in there he can play centre back and midfield, I think. But okay, I mean we've not been linked there, have we? So you do your transfer dailies, you've not seen it pop up. So Jesse says, Robbie, how did you first discover James? I'm curious. How did you scout me?
Do you know this is a crazy thing actually, because you had a job interview.
Yeah, I just had a job interview. Like
we advertised and James got the job, and then it was after that and I was saying, I know you from somewhere. I don't know where it is. I know you from somewhere.
Yeah.
And it turned out that I'd given a talk at your university, Yeah. But that wasn't why you got the job.
No, of course not. You didn't remember it for like 4 months after.
No, but you impressed. you impressed in your.
There you go.
You know,
so look out.
It's a bit. You know.
Keep an eye on LinkedIn. Everyone.
You know what I was saying earlier about the transfers and those players that know they're on the way out. I'm only joking.
Oh my God. Is this a farewell tour? It's Orlando.
No, he's been a great signing, man. He's been a great signing.
I appreciate it.
You know?
You don't want to go back to doing tactical insight with Graham. You don't want to do the
No, you're doing such a great job, man. It's been a fantastic signing.
Listen, big up Graham. I love him and I love working with him. But the hours of prep that goes into that show, I'm not sure you'd want to take it back.
I couldn't do that.
Recreating goals, moving the dots around. Yeah, fair enough. Salmon, the message has been retracted, but thank you for the super chat. And Jack says, Poulsen at RB Leipzig as a plan B, not too expensive. That's a potential shout. I mean,
I'm not a fan of his.
Are you not? Listen, I'm not saying he's going to come in and score a load of goals, but if you want a tall, athletic striker who's a nuisance in the last 15-20 minutes,
not clinical enough for me, man.
Fair enough.
Reminds me a lot of Werner. That
also from Leipzig.
Yeah, never. If he's through, you're not like that's done and dusted. He's like 50-50.
No, he's not. I don't think.
Yeah, not for me.
Particularly great finisher, but Dinham says, "Is Jesus the marquee signing of the window for you?" I think he means from Arsenal's perspective.
Yeah, it kind of might turn out to be that marquee signing. And when you look at the fact that Chelsea were trying to hijack it at the last minute. Chelsea at the moment, they don't really have a striker after getting rid of Lukaku. Speaking to a lot of Chelsea fans, they would have loved Jesus. So I think because we kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem as much as a marquee as it might be, and then of course he was at City and he wasn't the main guy. So, but it's looking like a good sign at the moment.
Matthew says that he thinks if we sign Milinkovic-Savic, we can be lethal.
Yeah, that's Turkish. He's been beating a drum of Milinkovic-Savic. He's been saying that.
I'd love him.
Yeah, that'd be a great signing.
Yeah. I'd love him. I think offers something really different to what we got in midfield as well in terms of power and all that. Jack says, just had a...
watch that. Don't read that.
Okay. Thank you very much. He jumped. You know, I'm normally so good at reading them before, but we're just on a roll. So many super chats coming, so well done. But thank you for that super chat. Where are we next?
Ashwin.
Now I say from India, Wout Weghorst from Burnley would be a good shout, as they've been relegated. He's 6'7", 31, perfect plan B. What do you say?
Hasn't he been signed already by?
Oh, has he?
I'm sure.
He
didn't do nothing, did he? He came in. He was he missed. If I remember rightly, there was one game where he missed a chance, a big chance that could have. He's not clinical enough. Not for me. Again. Besiktas, yeah.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, he signed for Besiktas. I was wondering because I was like, I'm sure that he'd signed for someone, but he signed for Besiktas. So came in, looked the part. Everyone was saying great signing by Burnley. Mm-hmm. Decent, but. And he's 29.
Everyone was saying they got rid of Chris Wood and brought him in and they'd upgraded and all that. But he struggled, and Burnley kind of really struggled, didn't they?
Yeah.
And ultimately went down.
Not for me.
Freducia, Everton price had to...
Everton price had to be free. So their fans will actually watch it, he says.
Yeah.
Right? Now, listen, nope. Everton have got a massive fan base. Not as big as Arsenal's.
Yeah.
But Everton, we're not talking about a little club here. Everton have a big fan base. You go up to Everton, when you play Everton, you will see that is one of the best supported clubs in this country. When Everton come to the Emirates, where they haven't won for, I think they've won once in about the last 20 years or whatever, or donkey's years, they still fill out their end. Now, even if it's a midweek, they're a big club. I'm sorry, it's not an excuse.
Yeah, I agree. Shreth says, you can only be the best if you train with the best. Arsenal are yet to sell bums. New guys will train with the outgoing guys, feel superior and will get nowhere.
Well, listen, Shref, give it time, those players will go. And I always keep saying to people, like, people are like, oh, why did we even bring them out there? Leave them all at home. Well, they've got to get fit.
Yeah.
And I was making a point today. Somebody like, say, for instance, Nicolas Pepe, where Valencia are saying, oh, he's only worth 50 million. We'll only... Suppose he, on pre-season, he's banging in goals left, right and centre.
Yeah, exactly.
Number one, you might think to yourself, oh, what, I might keep him.
Yeah.
Or number two, the value's gone up because, it looks like he's on... More teams come in for him, so definitely makes sense to bring these players on tour.
Yeah, Deep says, let's be ambitious and try Bowen, can play striker as well.
No chance West Ham are going to sell Bowen unless it was a ridiculous amount of money. And if it was that type of money, there's other targets you can get.
Cold asks, how would you feel about Kante joining?
Wouldn't be against that. I mean, I know he's getting a bit older now, but to me, still fit, still quality. And again, Premier League proven... Been there, done it. Would add to Arsenal, even at 31.
I won't go into all that. It's back to the Basuma debate, but I know slightly different. Actually, they are. Yeah. Anyway,
I'd have him.
Yeah. Mervin, thanks for the super chat. Toby says, Plan B, bring back my boy Giroud for the last 10 minutes.
Oh dear, no.
Imagine.
He's done brilliantly. I think he's just.
He's had an amazing career.
Yeah, won the league.
I've never been his biggest fan, but he's had an amazing career.
Just won the league in Italy again.
Yeah.
What a player.
Scored a great goal in pre-season the other day. Did you see it?
Scores great goals.
He just always does. His highlight reel, honestly, he'll have you thinking he was one of the greatest nines of all time.
Yeah.
Mr. Amadan says, Don Robbie, who would you rather hire as a manager? James, Lee or Turkish? Have to pick one. Big up, huge fan of the channel.
Oh, manager.
Well, if you want passion, it's Lee.
Yeah.
If you want someone who's going to just be ruthless building the squad and is just going to demand quality and the best, it's Turkish. And then,
I'd have to go for you then, more level-headed.
Oh, well, I was going to say,
those two,
if you want me to obsess over tactics.
Those two, right, they're hotheads, man. Like, you know what I mean? They'd be... Hiring Lee is like sort of put me in mind of a Neil Warnock type figure, you know what I mean? Like
who Lee is?
Yeah, like a total, like he'd lose his head and be shouting and be giving it. And Turkish would be, who would he put me? He'd be a bit like a Mourinho. No,
but if you're the owner, Turkish would be pressing you for those funds.
Yeah.
Really saying, listen, where's the money? Where's my players?
Yeah.
Well, listen.
And he wouldn't accept none of the blame himself. No, James, probably you probably get the job.
I appreciate it. I'm the yes man. Fair enough. I says, would you take Spurs winning the Champions League and Arsenal winning the Premier League? No.
I
couldn't do that.
No.
Wow.
No. Listen,
it
was nearly terrible when they won the Champions League before. No.
Do you know when that was happening as well? I remember thinking, the best thing is Arsenal winning the Europa League and Spurs losing the Champions League final. But the second best thing is both lose.
Yeah,
that is better than Arsenal winning the Europa League. Then can you imagine we win the Europa League and then they go and win the Champions League?
I remember somebody asked me the question. I was out there in Baku and they asked me that same question. Would you rather them win the Champions League as long as you win the Europa League? I said, I'll just take us both losing.
Yeah.
Which is what happened anyway.
The second best outcome. Yeah, awful. So I hope that's answered it, I suppose. Jordan has, in the comments, says, saw James in the fullback, top lad. There's a good pub, the fullback, in Finsbury Park.
Okay.
That's been a while back, though. I've not been there for a while. Kanimistune says, do you want to read that one? It's for you.
Which one's that one?
Outrageous Robbie.
Outrageous Robbie using pagan as an insult. Oh, okay. Them Tottenham fans are pagans, mate. Yeah, I mean, we're a blessed club.
Boubacar says, what's your top 4 prediction as it stands with Zinchenko added in 2 more signings for Arsenal? Then we should get top 4.
If we get those 2 more signings, top 4 has to be the target this season. I didn't think last year, at the start of the season, I didn't think it was realistic to even say we get top 4. I thought we could get it with luck. If we get those proper signings in, then the pressure needs to be on Mikel Arteta to get the top 4. That's what happens to every top manager. It's not us being unfair. It's like, you've got the tools now, go and get us the top 4.
Yeah, I agree.
And we need to get back in that. We've got to get back in the Champions League. I'm desperate for us to get back in the Champions League and for us to make a great showing in the league.
What's so he spent 90 million on Vieira and Jesus. 30 million on top of that was Zinchenko. So you're talking about 120 already.
Yeah.
And we're talking about another 2-3 players coming in. So, he's been...
No. Now, and this is his 4th year. He's got to deliver.
Yeah. Contra says there is a rumour Lingard is heading to Arsenal. Have you seen that rumour?
Yeah, and he's laughing emojis afterwards. So, no thank you. And Shrev says, off topic, but I feel Ozil and Alexis should be brought back to the club, not as players, but in some way. Things went south. And they gave us some great moments. They did, but what are we bringing them back for? You forgetting how Alexis left, yeah? Playing on that piano and pledging everything to...
Listen, neither left on good terms, in my opinion.
Ozil can come back at any time. To me, he didn't leave for me. He had a fallout with the ownership of the club in my books, yeah?
Yeah, which is why they... Yeah.
But the one with Alexis, I didn't like the way he left. This guy... listen, you can leave for your career, but I just didn't like how he left, man. And in Man United, this piano playing stuff and all that. Nah.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I loved Alexis as a player, and that's probably why it hurt me so much. I just didn't like that. I didn't like the exit, man.
It's a shame. We've had a lot of top players whose exits haven't really gone swimmingly at all. And listen, it's very rare you lose a big player and you're exactly going to be happy about it. But
there's ways to leave, man.
Yeah.
There's ways to leave. I mean, you can protect your legacy. The biggest. I don't want to use. I was about to call him an idiot. I don't want to call him an idiot, right? But the player that I thought did the stupidest thing. I don't know who advised this guy, right? Was Koscielny.
Right.
Koscielny came to Arsenal. Nobody knew who he was. Koscielny, throughout the years, turned himself into being a top player.
Yeah, I love Koscielny.
Who got into the French national team as a regular in that. Really, really good player. Fans loved him. Then you go and leave the club, right? And you do this stupid thing where you're taking off an Arsenal shirt to then reveal a Bordeaux shirt. Who advised you to do that? Peed off all the fans.
Yeah.
Went to Bordeaux. I think Bordeaux got relegated, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
But anyway, they got rid of... last season, they literally bombed Koscielny out of the team. Now, your legacy now, when you return back to Arsenal, a lot of fans are going to remember that. I hope that in time, he does get forgiven because he was a good servant to the club. But there's still fans that will remember that and say, yeah, what do you want?
I think he said
if you're coming back now, what do you want? What are you coming back for after, it's not even like you took it off to reveal a Real Madrid shirt or a Barcelona shirt, a Bordeaux shirt. Oh, come on, man. I mean, I was like, who's advising you? What about your legacy? One day you might want to return back to Arsenal, the place where you made your name. Mm-hmm. And the fans loved you. I mean, so there's ways of exiting clubs. Alexis Sanchez, I know, obviously, you've got to do the video to... But I just think the way he left Arsenal wasn't really in a good way.
No, it wasn't.
You know what I mean? It was in a way like, yeah, I'm done with you lot now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Protect your legacy.
I think he said in an interview that he didn't think it would be taken that way or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
I know.
Yeah, I know. Chris Fraser says, Bordeaux have been relegated to the 3rd division of French football. Is it?
Wow. Didn't they win the title like 10 years ago?
Huh?
Didn't they win the title like 10 years ago?
I'm not sure of that. I want to find out what he's even doing now. I'm just going to put...
While you do that, I'll read the rest of these super chats. Eric says, Robbie and James, are we getting top 4? Say it. Yes, I think we are.
Yes. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Won't be easy, but he's retired now.
Okay. Well,
he's retired.
Fair enough.
Which is a shame because he's 30. See, he did used to get a lot of injuries, to be fair. 36, but
Yeah.
signed from Lorient. Remember that in 2010.
Yeah.
Spent nearly 10 years at Arsenal, right? And then, now you've retired. You should be coming back to Arsenal. We should be, they shouldn't even be offering him something because that's a good servant for the club.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way he left, man. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, who's advising you?
Yeah.
Chris
says, wait till you see the crazy crowd at Orlando
I have
City.
seen the Orlando City fans.
Have you been to Orlando for Arsenal before?
I haven't, but I've seen the Orlando City fans, and they are brilliant. And I'm looking forward to that. Yes.
Yeah.
Big up, Chris. I remember when I first started doing the channel, there was a guy who was doing like an Orlando sort of channel, and we used to talk. Big up Orlando. I'm looking forward to that.
Smooth says Zinchenko and Yuri will be good transfers overall. Zinchenko, Savic and Asensio would be great, says Manpreet. And who was the biggest Judas post-Wenger era? Asked Iceboat. Post-Wenger era. I can't really think of many. Are there names I'm forgetting? I don't really get. I'm not one. I don't get too offended by.
Nor do I.
I'm just like, if you want to go then. That's fine.
Nor do I, because I understand it. With football players, and look at our players. You can't blame them sometimes because look at what's going on in Barcelona and Frankie De Jong at the moment, where literally they're trying to force him through the door because they want the money. So it works both ways as well. So,
Wow.
I can't think of maybe everyone since that has done it in the right way.
Emma says you don't necessarily need the best defence, midfield or attack to win the Premier League. The team who wins is the most cohesive and has the best chemistry. Mikel Arteta knows that. Well, hopefully he's getting that right, because there's definitely a good, a feel-good factor around Arsenal, and they just need to, we still.
Truth teller says
need the players.
City trying to use Zinchenko to get Saka. Nope. Steve Sosa says, just bought my tickets, hope to see you there, Robbie. Hope to see you guys as well.
I've got to go pack.
Yeah, I've got to go pack as well.
Yeah.
We're flying out in the morning. We will be over there. We're looking forward to it. We're going to be there for the game Orlando versus Arsenal. And then, of course, at the weekend, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Looking forward to those games. Hopefully we'll get some news on Zinchenko as well. And, keep working, Arsenal, on those signings. But looking forward to seeing the signings out there and looking forward to seeing those American fans who are brilliant.
James?
Be good.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Don't miss that flight.
See you at Heathrow.
And see you guys tomorrow.